Good morning.
Good morning.
I might as well start saying good morning now because Yanni always says good morning. And when I think about it, the episodes do come out in the morning.
See?
So I guess that makes sense. But then again, you never know when somebody's going to listen to it. They could listen to it at nighttime. But it's not that serious. Good morning, everybody. How are you doing tonight? I mean, see, it's night. Me and Yanni record at nighttime, y'all. Not super late, but it's 12:15 right now where I am. So yeah, that's why it's just like we always saying different things. Good evening, good night, good morning. But
I always say good morning because it's always morning somewhere.
No, God, it's always a nighttime somewhere. Jesus. Okay.
But I'm great. How are you?
I'm good. I'm way better than I had been the past, I'm gonna say, month and a half. I'm good. Mm-hmm. Like I said, wait, did I say this last week? Did I mention that I'm back at home now that I quit my job? I can't remember,
yes,
but
you did.
I'm back at home now, so I've been spending way more quality time with my daughter, and Michael finally, it was inevitable. We all knew it was gonna happen at some point because it's kind of like a rite of passage for babies, but she finally fell off the bed for the first time. Yeah, she actually fell off twice in 1 week. So the first time she had a blowout diaper, so I was changing her diaper on the bed on her boo-boo towel. That's what we call it. We can just get a giant towel. It's the designated boo-boo towel. Put that down. So I changed her and everything. After whenever she has a blowout, I have a plastic bag right there that I just dump everything into. And so after I got done changing her, I wrapped everything up in a plastic bag and I went to go throw it out and wash my hands and get her a new outfit. But after I washed my hands, I was like, before I go get her outfit out the other room, let me just go back in the room and check on her, because I knew, she had been rolling around in every direction lately. They start rolling to one side and then they do the other side. Now she's rolling just in every direction. She moves all over the place. So I was like, let me just go check on her. And literally I was a foot away from the door to the bedroom and I hear the little thud. And I start running. She started crying instantly, which is a good sign. And she was on her back in there. I'm like, oh my God. I'm so glad I didn't have to see it, because just thinking about her little body falling.
I know, that would have broke your heart.
I don't think she fell on her head because the thud was like way too soft. I think she fell on her side and then just kind of ended up on her back. But yeah, she was hysterical for a few minutes. I calmed her down and I just looked at the signs. She wasn't like vomiting. She didn't have a lump on her head. She cried immediately, which means she was alert and everything. And she still ate the same. When she went to sleep, I just held her for like the first 30 minutes or so, just so I could like monitor her. And then after that, when I put her in bed, I just checked on her every few minutes to make sure she's still breathing and stuff. But I do that all the time, every time she sleeps.
Yeah.
But yeah, she was good. And then like 4 days later, she fell off the bed while we were both sleeping. Like, she literally woke up for a second and was moving around, which she does. I put her pacifier back in her mouth. We both went back to sleep. And then like 2 minutes later, I just hear a boom. I'm like, what the fuck? And she fell in the dark, so I know it was like terrifying for her because it was pitch black. She don't know what the hell happened. She was asleep. I just jumped out the bed like a ninja. Like, oh my God, I can't believe this happened again, my poor baby. But yeah, so now I don't let her sleep in the bed with me anymore. Now she has to sleep in her bassinet whenever I'm asleep. If I'm awake, she can sleep in the bed with me, but I don't let her sleep in there when we're both asleep at nighttime anymore, which makes me sad because like two of my favorite ways to bond with her is, taking naps together and when she goes to sleep on my chest. I just love that. So I'm gonna miss sleeping with my baby. But Yeah. She's going to be 7 months in a couple days. But, my poor baby. Oh no, time is flying. But anyway, enough about Michael. So I forgot to say this on the last episode. Well, I didn't think about it. But I should have when I brought up the movies that like the streaming platforms were promoting for Pride Month. And I forgot to mention that I had just bought a book by April Sinclair that I'm reading right now. It's her third book. I can't remember what it's called. But that's not the point. The point is that April Sinclair, she wrote the book Coffee Will Make You Black, which is, I read this book when I was like 9 years old. I should not have been reading it at 9 years old, but it's a book about a young, very, very young girl, like elementary school age, kind of discovering that she might be queer. She's like really confused about her sexuality. She doesn't even know what sexuality is. She just, you know how kids are when we know what we're attracted to when we're that young. We just don't know that it's called heterosexuality and homosexuality and stuff like that. But it's basically her like kind of figuring out that she's a little different from the other girls around her. And then the sequel to Coffee Will Make You Black is Ain't Gonna Be the Same Fool Twice, which I also read as a child, and I really, really shouldn't have been reading it when I was a child, because that one is about once she becomes an adult, like after she graduates from college, and she kind of goes on this trip to, it's either Sacramento or San Francisco, and she goes with her friends, and they end up going back home to Chicago, and she decides to stay out there because she meets this woman who is a lesbian, and she experiences her first lesbian relationship, and she really kind of explores all the things that she was confused about in the first book, and not just like being a lesbian, like she really doesn't know how to identify, but she's like kind of experiencing that, and then after that experiencing also being with a man sexually for the first time. And it's just like, it's just a book about her exploring her sexuality, a black woman in the 80s exploring her sexuality. So those are some book suggestions for anyone out there who is interested in that. Those are two of my favorite books in the whole world. Unfortunately, the third book is not related to the first two. It's just a completely different story with different characters, but I'm sure it'll still be good. And yeah, I just want to go ahead and promo that real quick.
Sounds like a really good book.
Yeah, they're both really good. The sequel is my favorite one by her. Ain't Gonna Be the Same Fool Twice. All right, so Yanni.
Me.
I know. Just like me, you've been seeing everything going on right now with this whole Roe v. Wade getting overturned. I know. I don't want to talk about it because it's depressing. I should talk about it. It's just, it's crazy to me because it's like, how does a country manage to backtrack so many decades? Like, how do you go back on all the progress over literally 5 decades? It's just wild to me. And it's scary. Especially because of the fallout. Like, this is going to affect so many things, not just all the other laws that could potentially be overturned. But like a lot of people on social media are talking about how this is going to affect people being able to do IVF. This is going to affect like people who are pregnant by abusive partners, or who withhold sex because they're afraid to get pregnant, and that ending in abusive situations.
Yes.
And obviously the dangers of people going to get abortions that aren't safe because they're not done by medical practitioners, because they don't have a choice.
Yeah,
and
which is also dangerous.
It's just like, I don't know. I feel like everybody right now with a uterus is just thinking about all of the crazy things that are gonna happen in the near future. Yeah. It is. I was looking at this map that showed like all of the states where abortion was immediately outlawed as soon as they overturned it, the states where it's legal for now, the states where it's gonna be illegal for sure, and the states where it's like legal, period. I happen to be in a state where it's just legal, period. I'm in Illinois, but the surrounding states, all of the states around us, it's illegal. And so we were watching the news today, me and my mom, and they're already talking about how, you know, the abortion clinics immediately shut down, and all of these people are traveling to states where they can get abortions legally, and the abortion clinics in those states are already like, they don't have the resources. Like, everything is too much because there's too much of a high demand, basically. Yeah. And so it's just like, I don't know, it's just crazy. And I'm like, it's not like, somebody made a good point. It's not at all about like caring about life and, you know, being pro-life. It's not about that at all. It's 100% about control. Because think about it, like, you're making it illegal. You're criminalizing people who don't want to be pregnant. You're criminalizing people who do want to be pregnant and end up having a miscarriage. And you're criminalizing people who have been raped or are pregnant with a baby that's the result of incest. You know, Idaho is the only state where abortion is illegal unless you were raped or it was incest. All the other ones is just illegal, period. So if you were raped, good luck. Is basically what the law is in those states. And it's just like, I don't know. I mean, it's not much more I can really say about it that everybody hasn't already said. But it's just wild. You would never think that we would be here.
So much for land of the free, right?
Exactly. Like, America is really such a shitty place. I'm sorry. Like, it's just, the thing about America is that our government doesn't care about us at all. Everything is about money at, you know, the cost of our health, our safety, our lives, our everything. So, I mean, if that's the kind of place you want to live in. All right, enough of that depressing stuff. I'm gonna actually switch the topic to something more hilarious. Did you watch the verses, or did you just like see?
I didn't watch it. I missed it, but I seen the tweets. Tweets about it.
Okay, first of all, this is the first verses where I saw it being promoted, and I actually scheduled this shit in my calendar. Like, oh, I'm watching this because Mario and Omarion, that's my era of R&B. Like, I love every era of R&B, every decade. But Omarion and Mario was like they were the heartthrobs when I was growing up. Well, you know, some of the heartthrobs. There was a lot of heartthrobs, but they were two of my faves for sure. I've always been a Mario fan. Like, he didn't have the success that Omarion and B2K had, but I knew, like, he was one of those people that has that talent that for some reason does not get recognized by like the mainstream public. Cause like I knew going into it that Mario was gonna be singing. Okay.
we know.
He came out and his mic was on. Okay, I knew that was gonna happen because I've seen him perform. I haven't seen him actually perform live in front of me, but I've seen him do live shows, and so I know he can blow for real. But even so, I actually thought that Omarion was gonna win just because of the fact that the general public received Omarion better. And so I just thought that he was he was gonna be doing his bops and he was gonna win it. But at the end of the day, or at the end of the night, it was it was supposed to be a night of R&B. That's how they promoted it. And Mario, he stood by that and he did what was supposed to be done. And Omari, I don't know what the fuck he was thinking, but he didn't. It was he was refusing to do any of his R&B songs. I was just first, he took 5 years to do. I was waiting for that because that was that was his number one R&B hit. And then he didn't do. He did I'm Trying To, which is another R&B hit off that same album, but he didn't do none of that. That album was his R&B album. He didn't do no other songs off of that. I was happy he did Entourage and Touch. Is that what that song is called? Yeah. Right? Touch? Hello? Yeah. You're I don't listen to Omar.
My memory is ass.
Okay. Anyway, it don't matter. It don't matter. The point is, Mario blew him out the water, and I wasn't expecting that, but I was happy with that because I love Mario, and I'm happy he was getting his flowers that night. And then I was super fucking happy to see Sam. I didn't know Sammy was gonna be there, so I was Sammy was the first heartthrob for me, at least the first kind of closer to my age group heartthrob, because technically Usher was the first heartthrob for me. That was my husband when I was 5 years old. But in 1999, Sammy dropped I Like It, and he was it. And then I also still continued to follow him when he came back out. And he had the song Come With Me. Oh my God, love that song. I saw him sing that live, and he's another one who can sing for real. He was a little lit at the verses, so he wasn't, he was singing, but he wasn't doing all that he could do because he was lit for real. But I was excited about him being there. He's still fine too. He look good with locks. Oh my, now Orion, but we ain't even gonna talk about Orion.
Oh my God, your tweet out of line.
Everybody was thinking it. Everybody. I have no shame. Every time anybody posts a picture of Omarion and Orion together, all you see is choo-choos in the comments. It's not just me. But honestly, I'm starting to look at Orion a little more. I used to be Omarion, oh yes. And then I was oh, they both fine. Okay. Now I'm Orion.
Oh my God.
That man is fine. I am 100% against men simulating the act of eating pussy with fruits, but he looked so fine while he was doing it that I could not even be mad. I'm sorry.
Oh my
God. I watched that clip, that one clip.
I hate that.
The 5-second clip of the close-up on him eating the watermelon from the side. I watched that one clip 20 times.
I know you replayed it back. You rewind it
and Bria's interlude is playing in the background. So it's it was sexier than I would have expected that to be. I wasn't even paying no attention to Omarion, the verses. Honestly, I was not. It was all about Sammy and Orion for me. I was oh yes, I'm gonna dream about fine ass brown skinned men with locks tonight. It was great.
This episode of the Pretty Picnic Podcast is brought to you by Black Artist Space, a global online art gallery promoting the works of Black visual artists everywhere. Black Artist Space was created in 2014 when visual artist Tanae Brianna was fed up with the low visibility of Black artists in online spaces such as Instagram, as well as the crazy fees that they are required to pay. Tanae decided to create her own artist assistant page strictly for Black artists, where there was no fee to have your work featured. Between 2014 and 2019, Black Artist Space grew steadily in supporters and engagement and slowly became a business. Today, not only can you be featured on the platform, but you can have your online art shops promoted, market your Black-owned businesses for the lowest rates on the internet, and also support other Black artists by purchasing their prints from the Bass Print Shop, where Bass manufactures and ships other artists' work at no fee to them. The artist receives every penny they ask for. Log on to blackartistspace.com today and sign up for their monthly newsletter to stay updated on future giveaways and contests. And don't forget to follow them on Instagram at Black Artist Space and Black Artist Space 2.0.
Here we go. Tonight's excerpt. I was 8 years old when my mama finally took me to get a relaxer, or a perm as everyone called it back then. I didn't fully understand what a perm was at the time, but I knew I wanted my hair to be long and straight like Tia and Tamara's. I had asked my mama to make my hair straight back when I graduated from kindergarten because I wanted to look quote unquote nice on my special day. I was tired of wearing big jumbo twists in my hair that my mama put very little effort into. On the day of my graduation, she sat me down in the kitchen and put the hot comb on top of one of the burners on the stove. She worked on my head for what seemed like hours, with several objections and disgruntled groans from me. When she was finished, I looked in the mirror and my eyes welled with tears. My hair looked nothing like Tia and Tamara's. It was fluffy and my ends were raggedy. I sweated my hair out entirely in the summer heat before my graduation had even begun. My graduation cap could barely fit over it. According to my mama, the perm I was about to get would be the solution to my problem. Okay. Any thoughts on that? No.
I wish I could, but I can't with girls that got relaxers.
Wait, you said what? You said you never got relaxers?
Mm-mm.
Oh, really? So you've been natural your whole life.
Pretty much,
Lucky you. You know, that's what I said I was gonna do with my daughter. I'm like, she ain't never getting no perm. Never ever.
She won't even need it.
Well, yeah, Michael doesn't need it, but I didn't know my daughter, you know, back when I decided that my future child would never have relaxers, I didn't know my child was going to come out with straight hair. So I didn't know I was going to have a baby by a straight-haired man. That wasn't in the plan. But yes, she wouldn't need a relaxer anyway because her hair is already straight. But yeah, that was something I decided back when I was in high school. Because for me, well, I'm gonna get into what happened later after I got a relaxer. But first I want to start with my first time ever getting one. So like I said in the excerpt, I got my first relaxer when I was only 8 years old. And I say only because I don't know. When I think about it, that sounds kind of early. Even though I know other Black girls probably got theirs a lot earlier than that.
Yeah.
Because when I was a child, I didn't understand what a perm really was. I knew it made your hair straight, but I didn't understand like the whole chemical aspect where once you get it, it's done and your hair is not going back to the way it was unless you cut it off. Like my mom told me that, like your hair is gonna, like if you get this, your hair is gonna be straight. You can't change it. But I was happy about that because I wanted my hair to be straight. So I didn't even like think about that. But when I kind of like after that found out that in order to keep it that way, I had to keep going back and getting this process done every year. Well, I think you're only supposed to get it like what, every 6 to 8 weeks, or I don't know. I don't remember. It's been so fucking long since I had one. But I used to get mine, I think, like every 2 months maybe. Because obviously you get new growth. And the new growth is your natural texture, so you got to go and get it touched up. And I didn't know that was going to be a thing when I originally got the relaxer. Like I thought my hair was just going to grow in straight. I didn't understand hair texture at all. And like natural hair wasn't a term back then, you know? The last time people were saying natural hair was when they was calling afros naturals in the 70s. So people wasn't saying natural hair back then because the quote unquote natural hair movement didn't start until I was in high school. So it had to be like between 2007 and 2011 when it started. And I was 8 years old in 2000. So yeah, I didn't understand that. Like, did you like know what a perm was when you were that young? Were you the only girl your age who still had natural hair, or like did you see other little girls with natural hair?
If I can remember correctly, I didn't see them like with just like those natural hairstyles, but I did see a lot of girls always have like straight hair when I was like in like elementary school. So yeah.
Like that was normal. That was the other thing I want to say. Like seeing other black girls with straight hair was normal to me. Natural hair was not normal to me. At least not at that, like once I got to that age.
Yeah.
It's like, of course, we all have natural hair when we're like tiny, when we're toddlers and, you know, little kids or whatever. But yeah, every other girl I saw had like long bangs and like these cute, shiny, straight, high ponytails.
Yes.
I was jealous. I wanted that. Like I said, I wanted my hair to look like Tia and Tamara's when they got their perms. And they was in college and they had the straight hair. I'm like, oh my God, I want my hair to look like that. Like when I got my first relaxer, my mom took me to this lady, this real old lady who literally used to do her hair when she was my age. So it was in this old ass shop, like that hadn't been updated since the 70s, literally. Like it had 2 seats. Actually, I think it only had 1 seat in there. One chair to get your hair done. And then it was just like, she was this older lady, like in her 60s, smoking a cigarette while she doing my hair. And I mean, she was cool though. So my hair was gorgeous. I loved it. I thought it was perfect after that. But the thing is, I didn't, like, nobody taught me how to wrap my hair. So, cause you know, when you get a relaxer, or when you straighten your hair, like if you just flat iron it or whatever, you have to wrap it like around your head. You have to comb it up around your head and put a scarf over it so that when you take the scarf off, it falls, like it just falls the way it was done and it flows and everything. Nobody could talk, like my mom ain't tell me shit. So I would go and get this $80 process done on my head, and then literally wrap a scarf around my head with my hair still down, and then wake up with my ends all raggedy and bent up and like tangled. So my style will only last for a day. And it was like that pretty much all the way until I got in high school. Then I learned about wrapping my hair. So it was like I wasn't given no kind of like style or like relaxer etiquette or like upkeep or nothing. They just kind of did it and didn't teach me nothing about my hair. I didn't know about moisturizing my hair. When I got relaxers, I was always told I couldn't get my hair wet. So I never moisturized it. Mm-hmm. And so I'd have this straight, beautiful style, and then my scalp underneath is like full of dandruff, and my hair is just dying. Not dying, but that's dramatic. But it's just not getting the care that it needs. So eventually, when I was, I'm gonna say like a sophomore in high school, because in junior year I tried to transition to natural hair for the first time. So in my sophomore year of high school, my hair had broke off so bad from relaxers that it was like at the point of no return. Like the only way I could get my hair back was if I cut it off, like shaved it off, not cut it off, shaved it off. So it was broken in the back, like the kitchen area. That hair was literally like 2 inches long, and it wasn't growing. It had been 2 inches long for probably like 7 months. And then in the front of my head, like my edges and like my edges, like where I would lay my baby hair now, it was like big bald spots. So I would wear my hair back in a ponytail every day and just have big bald spots in the front. And my hair was long as shit, but it's like, it kind of takes away from that when it's breaking off and you got bald spots, Yeah. Relaxers were just, and I'm not bashing relaxers at all. Like, I know for some people it works for them, but for me, relaxers were really, really tough on my hair. People used to always be really shocked at how straight my hair got from a relaxer. Like people would literally, like people at school, like would touch it and gawk like, damn, like what relaxer was you getting? Like, cause it would get so straight. And I think it's because my hair just could not like handle the chemical. And now I know my hair very well. I didn't know it at all back then. I know my hair very well now. So I know my hair can't handle any chemical very well. But relaxers were like, it was literally killing my hair. It was like, I don't know, like, when you see women who have like really severely damaged hair, like it's so damaged that their hair is probably like 2 inches long, or it's just like all broken off everywhere, but they're like, I don't want to cut it off.
Yeah. Or it's like really stringy at the ends.
Yeah, just like, it's like, girl, if you don't just cut that little shit off and so your hair can grow. But they be like, I don't want to cut it off. I didn't want to cut my hair, but my hair was very long, so it was a little different. My hair was like, I could wear a low ponytail in the back and it would be like down my back. So I was like, you could not say anything to get me to cut my hair off. But it got to a point where, and I think all women have been here before, where you're in the mirror, you're doing your hair, and like nothing is fucking working, and you start stomping your feet and just it got to that point where every time I did my hair, it got so frustrating that I'm like, like at the point of tears. And so my like straight hair became so ugly to me. My hair was so thin and wispy. It was, like I said, it was breaking off. And I just, like, every time I went to the shop, it's getting shorter and shorter. And I just couldn't take it anymore. I hated it so bad. I had been watching natural hair videos, like discovering it. Because I didn't, still at this time, I'm 20 years old at this time. Before I started watching the natural hair videos on YouTube, I didn't know that everybody has a different hair texture and different curl pattern and different like density and stuff like that. Like, I thought that all black people had like the same kind of curly hair, And the only reason my hair wasn't curly was because I was getting a relax. I thought if I cut my relaxer off, I was going to have like those loose curls like my best friend had. I thought our hair was going to be the same. I had no idea about different textures until I started watching these natural hair videos on YouTube. But it was cool though, because it made me kind of excited to see what my texture was like. Because like I said in the first episode of the podcast, I didn't remember what my natural hair looked like because it had been so long since I seen it. And the last time I did see it, I wasn't really paying attention to it like that. You know, I wasn't paying attention to thinking about a curl pattern. I didn't know shit about a curl pattern. So I just went in the bathroom that summer when I was just at my boiling point and I couldn't take it anymore. I hated my hair and I was like, fuck it, I'm cutting it all off. And I just took the scissors and just cut it all off. I put it in a bag. I remember I took it to my mom later that day. I had a hat on. And I just took this bag in her room and I gave it to her. And she opened it and she was like, no, you didn't. Today. She was about to cry. She was like, today, no, you didn't. And I was just laughing like, yes, I did. It was funny because like an hour or so before that, I was like downstairs playing the game with my sister and I hadn't revealed that I had cut all my hair off yet. And my grandma and my mom were in the kitchen. And so while me and my sister are playing this game, my hat fell off. And I didn't want them to see it. So I instantly like died behind the couch. Like I literally jumped over the entire couch so that they wouldn't see it. It was hilarious. But yeah, she was like really hurt. She was really hurt. I could understand because that's how I would have felt before if I had like cut off my hair when I was still really in love with it. But like I said, I was at that point where I was just so over it. I had already like said goodbye to my hair like months before that. So I was ready. And I was just excited to start my natural hair journey. I didn't know what it was gonna entail. But I was really excited about it. Like, I was just watching all the videos, reading all the articles about the LOC method and looking up good conditioners and moisturizers and shampoos and everything. And I couldn't wait to, like, figure out my texture and pattern. So, yeah, that was, like, the start of it for me. So I have a question. Did you, when you were, a child, did you know anything about like, how can I say this? Like, as far as hair texture, like people kind of like self-hate, you know, in the Black community where people kind of put down like kinkier, coarser textures of hair and they, you know, they say things like good hair when it's like finer textures and stuff. Were you aware of that? Because I was not, and I have a story about that. But I want to know first, were you aware of that?
I was aware because I always heard it like around me growing up. Obviously, so of course, hearing that all the time, I would always question if I had good hair, you know, because growing up, my hair was like very coarse and like coily. So I will always be embarrassed of my hair growing up. I'm not gonna lie, even though I was like natural, I definitely was. Because like you said, every girl we were around growing up always had straight hair. So I was always embarrassed by my hair. So yeah, I was aware of that.
How did your mom do your hair? Like, did she put it in those? Did she use them big old
girl?
And put it in a big
Yes.
jumbo twist.
Yes, I had the little braids with the ballies and the little twists with the little, you know, on the sides. You have the little twists on the sides hanging with the barrettes and stuff. That was me.
My mom blew me because she used to do like these big chunky ass twists where like it's fat as fuck at the top. Yeah. And then tiny at the bottom. And I'm like, why do you do me like this? Like, I remember one time she was doing my hair and she was using a jam and she was slicking it back. It was all wavy. And she was slicking it back into this beautiful like puff. And then she was just like, nah, I took it out and put it in a big old jumbo twist. I'm like, why would you do that? Like, she used to have me out here bogus. I got so many class pictures looking crazy as hell, but it's fine. But yeah, okay, so here's my story about like curl pattern and everything like that, where I didn't know this was a thing. So I was like, I want to say 10 or 11 years old. And my aunt and her friend who had 2 daughters, they were a little bit younger than me. They took us downtown to the water tower, and in the water tower they had an American Girl doll store. You know the American Girl dolls?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so they took us there, and usually the thing that girls typically do is they get a doll that they can relate to, you know, a doll that looks like them. They, you know, they wear like similar outfits and stuff like that. So I wanted to get a doll that looked like me. So I grabbed Josefina. And Josefina was the Mexican American Girl doll. But she was, you know, she had the same skin tone as me. So that's why I grabbed her, because I felt like out of all the dolls, I looked the most like her. And so my aunt's friend was like, why don't you grab the Addie doll? And Addie is the black girl. And in the American Doll series, she's a slave. But anyway, they all have like historical, like they're all from like different eras in the past. So Addie was from like the early 1900s, I believe, because it was right before, it was when black people in the North were already free. Because I remember I read the book, and her mom like got out, they escaped the plantation and they went up north, and they were able to like be free and, you know, have their own place and stuff like that. So, wow. And so she asked me, why didn't I grab the Addie doll, or why didn't I want the Addie doll? And I told her I didn't like Addie's hair. I said Addie's hair was too hard to comb, because my cousin had an Addie doll. When I spent the night at her house, I'm trying to do Addie's hair, and it's like ridiculously, like you literally cannot put a comb in it at all. And to be fair, her hair was not like natural black hair. It was literally like a fucking Brillo pad. Like, it wasn't like hair. Even the kinkiest courses of hair, because I have kinky hair, it wasn't like that. It was straight, but like, it was like trying to comb a rug or something. It wasn't like combing natural hair. But anyway, back to the story. So when I said I didn't like Addie's hair, this woman blew up on me. Now, mind you, I'm a child. And honestly, I did not know nothing about like people, like black people hating their hair, or people thinking like straight hair was good hair and kinky hair was bad hair. I literally was just saying her hair was too hard to comb. Like, and I thought, like, in my mind, it was like an innocent thought for me, you know. At that time, I just did not know that was a bad thing to say, or I didn't know anything about like the whole issue that black people had with natural hair. I didn't know nothing about that. But yeah, she blew up on me. She was just going off about, no, I don't like that. I don't like when little black girls don't like black dolls, and we ain't doing that. And, you know, and I'm just so confused, because she's yelling at me and I have no idea what she's talking about. Like, obviously, once I got older, I understood. But like I said, it was such an innocent thing for me at the time. Yeah. It was not at all about liking natural hair or liking straight hair better than natural hair. It was literally just, I'm like, Addie's hair is too hard to do. I'm sorry. I want to do it. I want to be able to do her hair, and I can't. But that was just a little story that I thought of since we talking about hair texture. Yeah. I just felt like I felt like that could have been like a more like educational moment. Like, she could have taught me something. But yeah, she just went off on me. But obviously, you know, like I said, I'm older now and I understand where her anger was coming from. Because I get mad now, you know, when other people, especially other Black people, say, when they use the terms good hair, because I have family members and stuff who do that, and it irritates the fuck out of me. And like I remember I told my therapist I do not want Michael growing up to be that light-skinned Black girl who thinks she's better than other Black girls who have darker skin or have kinkier hair. I would feel like a failure as a Black mom if that ended up happening. So I'm like really being on teaching her about that, and just talking to her about hair texture in general, but just also like the history of like Black people kind of being made to hate their hair, and how they kind of started loving it in the 70s, and like it became like this, it was more like a crown to us, and then came relaxers, and and that shit kind of went downhill, and then the natural hair journey kind of re-emerged, and here we are now. And I be telling her daddy that too, because he grew up in a Black community around a bunch of Black people who use that term, and he's telling me like, how is it anti-Black? Like Black people use it all the time, and I'm like, yes, because Black people can be anti-Black too. Like, yes. It's not, good hair is not the term. He thinks it's like saying good hair is just saying like you got nice hair, like your hair is healthy, it's growing fast, it's thick, like that's what and I'm like, no, that's not what it means. When people say that, they mean fine hair, or hair with looser curls, and they imply that kinky hair is bad hair, because it's not that way. So I'm like, I don't care how many Black people you hear say it, don't use that term around her. Well, don't use it at all, but don't. He was saying it like in reference to our daughter. So I'm like, nah, don't do that. You have color in your hair right now, right?
Yeah, I've been coloring my hair since I was 14, I believe. Yeah.
So what is... Wait, since you were 14, really?
Mm-hmm.
My mama would have never let me do that shit. For some reason, Black moms think that having colored hair is too grown. I don't know why. I'm not gonna care either.
She just wanted to make sure that my hair didn't fall off, because that's always been my mom's fear when I was a kid, my hair falling off. That's why she never let me get a relaxer, because she never wanted to damage my hair, because her hair got damaged. So she was like, she didn't want that to happen to me, what happened to her hair. So anything with chemicals, she wanted me to stay far away from.
Yeah, I feel that, but that wasn't the reason that I wasn't allowed to color my hair. Like, that's another thing I said that I was gonna do differently with Michael, is that if she wanted to color her hair, I would let her. Not when she's a child, because she don't need to have no chemicals in her hair. Like a small child, I mean. But you know, if she like, I say like 10 years old, she wants to have some color in her hair. Because I remember seeing Willow with color in her hair when she was a kid, and I'm like, wow, that is really cool that her parents allowed her to do that, because it's really not, I don't understand the like too grown aspect that Black moms always use. Like,
I don't know.
I don't understand that at all.
It's just hair color.
Right, it's just something fun. It's like an accessory. Right. It's stylish.
Express yourself.
I feel like you should expect little kids to have a bunch of colors in their hair. I don't know.
That's what I think, right?
It just seems like something you would do as a kid. But But yeah, I want her to be able to express herself however she wants to, explore her creativity with her clothing, her hair, everything, because I was not allowed to do that.
I never really liked my natural hair in the state that it was.
Like its natural, like
in its natural state, yeah. Because I never really had curls when my hair was like in its natural state. It was always just like coarse and just, that's just it, coarse and straight.
So
I never really heard.
What curl pattern? Or yeah, what like, you know, like 2A and 3C and
see
all
that
stuff.
I never knew, because the way my hair is, it still is to this day. It's so weird. It's like straight with a few like wavy strands. Then you might see a few curls here and there, but it's mostly like straight. It's so weird. I can't really like describe it. I to this day I still don't know my hair type, because it's like it's a mixture of mostly all of them. So I'm like,
it sounds like it's heat damaged.
When I cut it off, it's still like that though, because I cut off the ends. I cut my hair off like more than 30 times. So every time
have you shaved it off, or you just like cut?
I cut it off. Like it was the point where I had it super low, and
now
then
I want you to shave it off. I want you to shave all of it off, so we can see, like, so it can grow back in its truly natural, healthy state.
My true state was that. It's always been that, and I don't know why, but it's just always been in that texture, and it's never changed. So I have no idea.
Interesting.
Maybe one day I'll shave it all off and start it all over, and then maybe it'll go back and like different and see what. I'm just so scared to shave my hair completely off.
Why?
I don't know. Like, I don't mind doing the low cuts, because I did low cuts before it, but shaving it completely off.
I mean, yeah, I get that.
I think it won't look right on me.
Like, because, you know, I cut my hair as low. Like, I'll cut it with literally a number 1 guard. And I've had it like that. Like, when it was platinum blonde and pink, it was cut like that low. But bald, I would never do. So I understand that. But I just, like, I be telling my mama, like, you should just take a razor and just shave all your, cause my mom and my aunt and my grandma, they all have dealt with their hair, like losing their hair completely. As a result of having fibroids. That's just one of the side effects or whatever of having fibroids. And so they all started losing their hair like in their 30s. But even so, like, it still grows like in some spots, because they all wear wigs, and they'll have me like line their hair up in the back so that their real hair isn't showing underneath their wig. So I'm cutting the hair off and it's growing back, because they're asking me to cut it again like the next month. So I'm like, obviously your hair can grow. Like, maybe you just need to like take a razor to your and just shave everything off and just let it start fresh. But she swears it's not gonna do anything, but she's never actually tried it, so she doesn't know, you know. And yeah, they were like terrified that me and my sister were gonna lose our hair, because they didn't realize it was a fibroid thing. They thought it was just all the women in the family like lose their hair in their 30s. But I think we're safe.
Yeah. At first, I remember the first day that I shaved my head off, I told my mom I was going to do it, and she like was so adamant against it. She did not want me to do it.
They be hurt.
No, they be hurt. It was like, what? That's your hair. You've been growing it for so long. I'm just like, I'm tired of it. It was frustrating me. I was tired of doing it. Everything. I was tired of getting it done. Like, I was tired of maintaining it and keeping it natural, because that's all I could do for my hair, you know, since I've been natural all my life. And I was so tired of maintaining it, so I wanted to shave it all off. So my dad took me to the barbershop, and even the barber was like, are you sure you want to cut your hair? Because it was long. He was like, are you sure you want to? He didn't want to do it either. And I said, yes, do it before I change my mind.
It's always everybody else that be terrified about you cutting your hair off.
I'm like, shave it off right now before I change my mind. And so he did it. And when I tell you, after I got out the chair, I was the happiest that I could ever be in my life, because it was like, I don't know what it is about hair when you shave it off. It's like a weight is lifted off you after you shave it. And that's exactly how it felt after. So I was like super happy. And during that whole period of time, I just kept cutting it and getting haircuts because I did not want it to grow back. I was like, no, I'm loving this low maintenance hair. It's time of my life. Yes. I was so happy.
That was the best part, honestly, is just waking up, putting some water in my hair and some conditioner.
Oh my gosh, yes. And just leaving. I even put some colors in it and dyed my hair a few times with this short. Cute. Like, best time ever. And I was, because all that frustration with my hair was just like gone.
I encourage every woman to cut all of their hair off at least once in this lifetime.
Yes. I'm always
it's so
for
freeing.
it.
The first time I did it, it was literally like so freeing for me. And I did it like stereotypically after my first really bad breakup. I was gonna do it anyway because I was about to go natural.
That's when I cut mine.
Once that happened, I reinvented myself. I just cut all my hair off.
That's exactly the first time
I became a new woman. I really did. Like,
you do.
And you're like so scared that your head is gonna look like an egg when you cut your hair off. Like, everybody is so afraid of like seeing their real hair shape. I promise you, the way your head looks when it's in a ponytail is not accurate for how it's gonna look if you cut all your hair. Because I thought when I used to wear ponytails, my head literally was like an egg, like laying on its side. So I thought my head was gonna look like an egg, but it wasn't. It was the perfect round shape, and the shortcut looked great on me. I loved it. Everybody else loved it. They said I was glowing. It was great.
Right.
If you're contemplating cutting all your hair off, if you needed a sign,
I'm all for it. This is a sign. This is a sign. Do it.
Chop it
I'm
off.
all for it.
When I was a kid, I was around like grown women who would do things like point out your new growth and just be like, "Ooh, it's time for relax." Even little girls too, like they'd be like, "Oh, tonight you need a perm," like, so it was the way people said things that made me feel like perms and stuff was just what we were supposed to do. Like, that was something that we had to do as Black girls. Mm-hmm. I didn't know it was an option. I thought it was a part of life, literally, because that's just how they made it seem. Like, well, it's time for you to go back to the shop, or you need a touch up. And that just like goes hand in hand with the fact that I didn't know about like natural hair textures, and like I didn't understand that. I think natural hair is a lot more common now than, like, it's not, I'm not gonna say it's more common than having a relaxer, because it's definitely still, plenty of people that's out here, getting relaxers on the regular. But I would say it's definitely a lot more common than it was before. It's like, it's not weird anymore to see people with afros. Like, because I remember the first time I wore an afro, somebody said to me, like, somebody in my family, it's like, it's not the 70s no more. Like, who wears afros?
What?
Yeah, because it wasn't like how it is now, where it's normal for a Black woman to have a big twist out or, big hair, period. Like, that's super normal now. And it just wasn't like that in 2012. Yeah, that's when I went natural. That it just wasn't as normal. That's when it was first starting to like become a thing. That's when the natural hair journey really started picking up, and then people was making YouTube channels left and right. Yeah. So there's so many people trying to copy our hair textures now. I don't know what the fuck the Koreans are doing, but they
oh my
they
gosh.
literally have
no, for real,
some kind of method where they can make their hair kinky. It's kind of mind-boggling. I mean, I'm guessing you've seen that since you
I have
reacted that way. That shit
seen
is
plenty
crazy
of those
to me.
videos.
Like, it looks like they kind of use like the same method as like white people use to get perms, but I don't know how they make it kinky though. That's what I don't understand. But that shit was it's just wild to me. It's very wild. When I see it, you know what, like when I see non-black people with like black hairstyles like box braids and micros and stuff, yes, it really looks crazy on them. It's like it's right. Just not meant for them at all. Right. You can tell because it's like when you see it, it just looks so crazy, and they don't realize that like it just doesn't look natural. But that's another conversation for another day. We ain't supposed to be getting into all that. My natural hair journey, as I said, I already explained how I cut all my hair off. So as I said, I cut all my hair off in 2012. So that's when my natural hair journey started. After I cut it all off myself, I went to the salon, and she like shaped it up for me. So I had like a little teeny weeny afro. That's what they called it, TWA. And in the beginning, my my regimen was just extra virgin olive oil, like water, and then sealing with extra virgin olive oil. That's literally all I put on my hair, and it grew so fucking fast in those first few months. But then I listened to the advice of my hairstylist. She was not a natural hairstylist. She was just a hairstylist. She was the lady who used to give me my relaxers. And she suggested that I put some color in my hair and make it pop and all. I had never had color in my hair before. I was 20 years old, never had color in my hair. So I just went and got this cheap ass box dye and dyed it like this. I dyed it red, but it faded to this kind of copper color. And it just, I mean, the box was probably like $3, so it super destroyed my hair. It was just completely damaged. It kept growing. My hair grows at a rate of 3/4 of an inch every month. The average human being grows half an inch every month. So my hair grows fast. And it continued to grow, but it just would be so damaged. So my hair got to the point where I would say when I was about a year into my natural hair journey, my hair got to this point where I couldn't detangle it at all. It was just so brittle and just all tangled up and just impossible. And I don't know how I did it, but somehow I did get it detangled, and I just started keeping my hair in twists so that it couldn't get tangled back up. And so it continued to grow, and I blew it out for the first time about a year and a half into my journey, and it was like I said, it was long. Growth wasn't a problem, but it was just so raggy. Like once it was straightened, you could see like the ends were just, one was up here, one was down here, and it was just like the ends, like the ends were like I straightened it and like my hair was straight on top, and then the ends were like fluff. You know what I mean? Even though they have been straightened as well. So I ended up doing a second big chop about a year and a half into my journey. So this is the fall of 2013. So I cut about I would say my hair was about 13 inches long, and I cut about 6 inches off. So after that, and I was like, as far as hairstyles, I was doing everything. I was doing bantu knots, I was doing twist outs, I was doing wash and goes, I was doing high puffs. I was just doing everything. I just loved being able to change my hairstyle. I think like coarser, kinkier hair is the most versatile hair texture that there is. Like we can do anything because we can wear it straight. We can do we can like put braids in it and take them out and wear it wavy, or put perm rods in it and wear it curly, and we can wear twist braids, locks. I love the fact that I can bantu knot my hair and not use any clips or anything in it. I could just wrap that shit around and it stays. Yeah. Like, I love that. And you cannot do that with like looser, finer hair textures. I just feel like that type 4 hair is just super versatile. So yeah, I was doing everything. So after that, I was treating my hair better, being more like, it was definitely more of a healthy hair journey versus trying to look cute. And so my hair flourished out. 2014 was the healthiest my hair has ever been. And I'll post pictures. I'm gonna make our Instagram because I keep talking about it, and I want to be able to like post stuff on there. Not always of us, but just of what we talked about. Like, I make references and stuff, and I want to post them on there. So yeah, in 2014, my hair was super fucking healthy. It was long, but it ended up, I was gonna say it was the longest it's ever been, but it actually got longer after I bleached it. So once it was healthy for a while, I decided to bleach my hair because I wanted to try something really different, and I wanted blonde hair. I started just looking up pictures of natural hair that was blonde and just being in love with it. So in 2015, in March of 2015, I actually went to a hair salon that like their thing is natural hair. Like, that's what they focus on, is the healthy hair and natural hair, the health of natural hair. So I went there. It's called Beautiful Salon. I don't know if they should still be in business, but this was a while ago, so I have no idea. But it's Beautiful Salon. It's in Chicago. And so I went there, got my hair bleached and like curled, like flat ironed or whatever. I remember walking out of there and just feeling like the shit. And then like this guy that walked past me was like, "Oh, I love your hair. You look great." I'm like, "Oh." Like, I was just feeling myself. After that, I was feeling myself. And I went home and my grandma was like, "You look like a white girl." And she just ruined it all for me. Only for a little bit, though. I eventually started to love it again. And so, yeah, after that, my hair was the longest. My hair, like, I have pictures of me wearing it, like, blown out in this huge puff. And that's when my high puff was, like, my favorite hairstyle to wear. And, I love my blonde hair. But of course, eventually, because I said chemicals, my hair just does not agree with chemicals. I know that now because I've been through it enough. So my hair just, no matter how many times, like I had a very strict regimen when my hair was bleached. Even before that I did. But when it was bleached, like, I knew I had to really, really take care of it. And so I was deep conditioning once a week. I was doing hot oil treatments before shampoos. I was only shampooing my roots versus all of my hair, and like stripping all of my hair, just like making sure I cleansed my scalp and everything. And I was moisturizing on a daily basis. I would have my spray bottle and spritz my hair like all the YouTubers tell you to do. I was trimming it when it needed to be trimmed, but no matter what I did, my hair was breaking off regardless because the bleach was just too much. My hair is like that type of hair where, I don't know if you've ever seen videos on YouTube of people bleaching their own hair and then they like do too much and it's falling out already. My hair doesn't do, like, I could bleach it 5 times in one day and that shit will be sturdy, strong, but months down the line, just completely fucked. I didn't do that, by the way, but I'm just saying that's how my hair is. So even though it was all great in the beginning, it's always eventually going to be fucked. So eventually, like I said, it was fucked, and I think I cut it all off in the summer of the spring of 2016. So it was like March, April, around that time. I cut it all off. I still continue to keep it blonde. Actually, it was after it was blonde. After it got really damaged while it was blonde, I dyed it jet black because jet black just makes your hair look healthy and thick and shiny regardless. So I dyed it jet black first, and then once it was still like breaking off so bad that even that didn't look good, then I cut it all off. So that was my third big chop in 4 years. And after that, I continued to keep it blonde. But I tried one more time to like grow it out while I was blonde. And after that, I knew that just wasn't going to work for me. But I still love that era of my natural hair journey. Like it was just so, it looked so good on me. I loved it. So I started growing my hair back out again in 2017. And it was growing. That's when I actually got my side shaved off for the first time. I was with my ex-boyfriend, and I was like, you know what? I want to get my side shaved off. Like, it was just something I just decided one day, like, I want to try it. I feel like it will be easier for me. I didn't like the sides of my hair, the way they grew, because it was like completely different from how the rest of my hair looked. And it made the awkward stage, you know, that stage where like your hair is too short to like slick it down, but it's too long to slick it down, but it's too short to really do any hairstyles with it. I was in that awkward stage, and during that stage, the sides of my hair kind of just stick out, while the rest is like kind of a defined curl pattern. The sides just stick out, like a clown. And so I'm like, I want to get my side shaved off. So my boyfriend at the time took me to his barber, and he like gave me like a fade type thing. And I was like in love with it. It was like totally different for me. And so as my hair grew, I just kept getting the sides cut off because I'm like, I'm digging this. Like, I like this. I like having my sides shaved off. It was actually way easier to maintain my hair. And also, like, if I want to wear bantu knots or perm rods in my hair, I could actually sleep at night because I just sleep on the side. I don't have to worry about like no perm rod being right there, you know. It made washing and moisturizing easier because I have less hair. And it just was cute as hell. Like, I loved wearing my high puff with my side shaved off. Oh, so cute. So, and I actually plan on doing that again once my hair grows out. At this point, I'm gonna get my side shaved off again, or just get an undercut. We'll see how I feel. But yeah, so I grew my hair out that way from 2017 to 2019, but I was dyeing it jet black in between and like bleaching the ends in between. So I was still like using chemicals and stuff. So I would trim it a whole lot. I didn't actually do a big chop, but since I trimmed it so much, it pretty much was a big chop. Just not all at once. And then after it was jet black for like a year, I cut it all off in March of 2019, and I cut it like all the way off. Not like the other times where I kind of like had like 3 inches of hair. I just cut it all off, and I bleached it platinum blonde. I was like, I'm gonna just wear my hair short for a long time so that I can color it, because I wanted to explore with color, and I knew I couldn't do that if I wanted my hair to grow. So I was like, I'm gonna just keep my hair short for a while. I'm gonna keep cutting it, and I'm gonna just experiment with whatever colors I want to experiment with. So I had like that amber rose for a while. That's what I call it, but it was really like, I guess I had more hair than her. But I had like, I would cut my hair with a number 1 guard, all around, and then bleach it platinum blonde, and then just like slick it down with a little part on the left side and just have everything else slick. So I did that in 2019. So I did platinum blonde that year. I did jet black again, and then I went back to platinum blonde, and then I did the baby pink color, which, oh my God, that was like my fave. It was just so pretty. And yeah, so I kept my hair short for about, I don't know how long it was. I'm gonna stay till the fall. And at this point, I actually started wearing wigs. I had done other protective styles before, like box braid, like jumbo box braids, locks. And I did all that stuff like myself. I learned from YouTube. I installed all that stuff myself. But that wasn't something I did on a regular basis. And I didn't wear wigs on a regular basis. I had 2 synthetic wigs before that I wore to work, like probably for a month-long span for each of them, because they were synthetic, so they didn't like last a long time. And then I just didn't wear wigs. So this was my first time getting me a lace front. I got a legit human hair 13x6 lace front. And yeah, that was the time where I was like delving into that. So that was new for me. And so I got me a long, I think it was 18-inch red straight lace wig. And I would just wear that. I wore that almost every day for probably 6 months. And my hair was just growing underneath. I would like flat twist it and moisturize it every 2 weeks. I would like take it down and do it all over again, and then throw my wig on. So my hair was growing, but I do feel like wearing the wig every day without a cap, because I never wore a cap with it, because that just made it so tight and uncomfortable. I think the wig did kind of like cause, like the inside of the wig, the lace caused breakage on my hair. So once again, it was growing, but it was still kind of breaking off. And I ain't gonna lie, I don't wear my fucking scarf at night. Like, I just don't. I try to wear my satin scarf. Like, I get into the habit of wearing it, and then I wear it for like a week, and then don't wear it for like the rest of the month. I'm just not. Yeah. Now I'm trying to be consistent with that, because right now my hair journey is all about health, because I want my hair to get back to the length that it was when it was its healthiest. So I'm trying to just be healthy with it. But yeah, I was at that time, you cannot get me to wear my satin scarf. So yeah, it was growing, still breaking off. I was at this point, I bought a second wig, a little wet and wavy, wet and curly looking wig. That's my baby. I still have that wig. And I wore that one probably every single day for probably just as long, like half a year. And my hair was getting back to like a medium long, yeah. Not long yet, but like getting there. And this is by what, the end of 2021. And no, I'm sorry, the end of 2020 going into 2021. So once 2021 came, I was wearing extensions and stuff. I was wearing like spring twist and the giant bantu knots, like adding hair to it. And my plan was to keep growing my hair out, but I was so fucking stressed. This was the most stressful and trying time in my life. Well, it was the beginning of that, really. I just didn't know it at that point. But it was like just terribly stressful, and just I was going through a lot. I had just gotten out of like a really toxic living situation. I had just ended a toxic relationship, and I was just like, I feel like I need to cut my hair off and get rid of like this negative energy that's attached to this hair that has been growing since all this terrible stuff started happening. And so I cut all my hair off, and I was like, I'll just bleach it again. Bleach it platinum blonde. It ain't been platinum blonde in a while. So cut it all off in April of 2021. Bleached it platinum blonde. And then the next day I found out I was pregnant. So I'm like, well, guess I can't bleach it anymore. So I was kind of forced into growing it back out again. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to just do it this time. I'm going to just stick with it. I'm going to grow it out. And I was growing it, and then I got the urge to cut it off again and give it a fresh jet black color when my friend was about to visit me. So I did that in June when I was about 7 weeks pregnant. No, 7? Yeah. No, that's wrong. I don't know how many weeks pregnant I was, but it was in June. And so I think I was 7 weeks. I think that's accurate. No, that's not accurate. It don't matter. It don't matter. But yeah, cut it all off and dyed it again. And then once that jet black color grew out, then I was like, for real, I'm gonna grow it this time. So I didn't cut it anymore during my pregnancy. And actually, after I had my baby, my hair was pretty, like, it was a lot longer than I thought. Because, like, after you have a baby, your hair is like the last fucking thing on your mind. And really, it was like that for me my whole pregnancy. It was just the last thing on my mind. I never touched my hair. But after I gave birth, I legit did not even look at my hair for 2.5 months. It was under a scarf. I didn't wash it. I didn't moisturize it. I didn't look at it. I ain't touch it. That's not true. I would do this because I didn't want it to lock up. But I'm like, run my fingers through it. But I did not style it, I didn't do shit to it. And so I didn't realize how much it had grown because, you know, shrinkage, it's all smushed and matted. I didn't know how long it really was. And I decided to cut it off again because I'm like, I ain't got time to do my hair. I'm taking care of a new baby. And I haven't even looked at my hair in almost 3 months. So I'm going to just cut it off and, you know, keep it short until, you know, I find my groove and I can actually devote some time to taking care of my hair. So I went and cut it off. I didn't even, like, comb my hair out before I cut it off. I just took the clippers and went like this and forced it through my hair. And after all of the hair was off of my head and I looked at it, I'm like, damn, my hair was kind of long. Like, now I regret cutting it off. Because if I had known that I was just about to be out of the awkward stage and I could have actually started putting extensions and like twists and stuff in my hair to keep it just done for a few weeks and not have to touch it and still have hair, I would have never cut it off. So this was the first time I cut my hair off and actually regretted it. Every other time I cut my hair off, it was like, yes, I'm a new me. I love this. It was like really freeing and healing, and it felt great and I felt beautiful. But this time I really regretted it. But I did it. I cut it off. I decided to go red because I hadn't been red since the beginning of my natural hair journey 10 years ago. And so I went red. I liked it while my hair was short. Once it started growing out, my roots started showing. I hated it. And then I was like, I got to get rid of this. So I cut all the red off. And that is when I finally officially started to grow my hair back out for good. Like, I'm completely sick of short hair now. I'm tired of it. I've been cutting my hair off for 3 years. I'm just done. Not forever. I'm sure I'm gonna want to wear short again in like 10 years. But for now, I'm just 100% growing my hair out. Like, y'all, if y'all see some scissors in my hand or some clippers, like, you have my permission to slap me. Like, I'm not cutting my hair off anymore. So that's where we're at right now. Right now, my hair is about 1.5 inches long. So I'm trying to grow it back out down my back. So stay tuned, I guess. But that is where my natural hair journey is as of today. Oh, that was a lot. Mm-hmm. You've never had a relaxer, right?
No, never.
Never. Okay, so have you ever considered getting one? Have you ever thought about it? Like, I don't know, like how you feel about your natural hair. Well, how have you ever like disliked your natural hair?
Yes, all my life. A little bit still to this day, but I'm just dealing with it because it's my hair and like I can't change that. But never considered it. It's actually never crossed my mind. I guess because at a young age it's been ingrained in me. Like I told you, my mom, she was not for the relaxers, so
Right.
chemicals, anything, no. So I guess since that was like ingrained in me at a young age, it's never crossed my mind to do it.
That's interesting. Because you like, yeah, I've definitely disliked it, but getting a relaxer has never been an option.
So I just made my natural hair work with what I could and tried to like it, do cute styles for me to like it.
True. So what is it about your natural hair that you didn't like or don't like?
I just hated the texture of it.
Okay.
Which
I mean, you're not the only one. You're not the only one. I can't be mad at you.
My hair has been so weird. Since I turned a teenager, my hair was like very weird. When I was younger, it wasn't even bad. Like I had really cute hair when I was a kid, but since I got a teenager, it got weird after a while. I don't know if it's because I think when I was 14, I told you I had highlights in my hair, and I just started like coloring my hair. But it didn't like damage or anything because I used to go to the hair salon a lot, to a natural hairstylist that would do my hair all the time and actually help my hair grow like a lot to where the point it got down to my mid back. But like naturally, like when it's like wet and stuff, I just did not like my curl pattern. I didn't like the way it looked, the way it dried. I hated it so much.
I don't like the way my hair would dry. But you know what? A lot of what I didn't like about my hair was just I didn't like it while it was damaged, and I just didn't know it was damaged because my hair is, like I said, it's kinky and it's coarse, but there's like a definite curl pattern, and when it's damaged, it's very, very brittle, and like I said, I can't comb through it, and I thought that was my hair. So doing my hair has never been like this, doing my natural hair, because doing my relaxed hair was like, I feel like the women who don't like to do their natural hair, where it's just like, ugh, it's so frustrating. But doing my natural hair has never been like this difficult thing for me. I honestly love everything that goes into it. I love the fact that I have to deep condition once a week, or I have to massage my scalp, and I don't have to shampoo as much as other people. At least not shampoo my hair as much as other people. I do have to shampoo my scalp like crazy because I have like really bad skin. But I don't know. I love everything that goes into. I love the fact that I have to have a hair regimen that I follow on a daily to weekly basis. Like, it makes me feel really, really unique and special. Do you know what your hair type is?
No, I really don't.
If I could see
it, I could look at. I've tried to search it up so many times, but it's always mixed that I never have just a different answer. So
you gotta look at your virgin hair.
I just gave up.
You gotta like wait till you don't have any color or anything in your hair.
Yeah, I'll probably have to do like a chop and then start over and then figure out that way.
I've been trying to get y'all need to cut her hair off. We'll make it happen.
I might do it, so stay tuned.
Well, I'm gonna be here for that. Then I could definitely look at your hair and tell you exactly what your hair type is. It's not a big deal. It used to be a big deal, like when the natural hair movement
was for real
getting started. It was all about curl
it's like
pattern.
If you don't know your hair texture, like, what are you doing?
It was all about curl pattern, but I feel like like, as far as taking care of your hair, it's more important to know your density and porosity.
I know all that stuff is just like, wait, I thought we just had to know the hair texture. Now we have to know the density and it was just a lot for me.
It's just that, I guess, because when it comes to moisturizing your hair, the curlier and kinkier that it is, the harder it's going to be to moisturize it. Because for those of you out there who don't know, there are natural oils that our scalp like secretes, and it's supposed to travel down the hair shaft to moisturize it. When you have straight hair or you have like a really loose curl pattern, it's going to be a lot easier for that oil to travel down your hair shaft because it's going in a straight line. But when you have zigzags and S curls and coils, it's a lot more difficult. So that's why we have to moisturize our hair more than somebody who has straight hair. And that's why they have to shampoo their hair every damn day. Because like Michael,
not me.
I cannot put like I don't put anything in her hair anyway. I'm not gonna lie, I did once. It was baby safe though. It was just some Shea Moisture baby stuff, and I just put the leave-in in her hair because I wanted to get her curls to stay, because her hair is like straight, but if you get it wet, it will curl up, but it will dry straight. So I was trying to get her curls to stay. So I put this like leave-in in while it was wet to kind of like act as like I guess how like a setting lotion would. I just wanted it to stay, like her curls to stay, and not for it to dry straight. And it dried straight. And then it was just extremely oily. I literally put like a little, like this much, like a little drop on her whole head. And it was oily. Her hair will get oily if I don't wash it after like a few days. I don't though, but like I wash her hair literally like I'm gonna say once every week and a half. But her hair just, it gets super oily when there's not even any product being put into it. So the fact that it gets oily like that is just crazy to me. But that's how it is for people with straight hair. Like white people will be like, oh, I haven't shampooed my hair in like 2 days, so it's bad. Like, bro, like Kayla, I was watching Teen Mom 2 the other day. Kaylin literally said that to her hairstylist. I'm like we would never have that issue, you know? Stay tuned for part 2 of this episode of the Pretty Picnic Podcast.